$4.20. Okay. I don't normally speak, but this is from Michael Gary, and I do some sort of a justice morning. I dreamt I was standing on the banks of the Thames, where the cold grey waters glisten in the early morning light. Lit a match to your cigarette, watch the smoke in the mist. Your eyes blue as the ocean, staring back at me. In a world so cold and lonely, in a faraway place, the sun burned cruel upon my face. The cracks in the ceilings found hell, turned to the wall. The sheets over my head. I try to sleep, dream my way back to you again. Oh, count the days slowly passing by. Jump on a plane and fly away. Oh, I see there where the cold breaks cry on a cold and misty morning under the Albert Oh, count the days slowly passing by. Jump on a plane, fly away. Oh, I see there as the cornflakes cry on a cool and misty morning under the Albert. Oh, count the days slowly passing by. Jump on a plane, fly away. Oh, I see where the heartbreaks cry on a cold and misty morning under the Albert Bridge. you, Mike? Hope you're listening somewhere. I know you're listening somewhere. So. First things first. What was I thinking of? First things first, Mike. We'll talk about Mike in a little bit. I'll probably not get to anything, but I'm not planned as well. But yeah, I'll talk about Mike and the 420 connection. As I make my way to talking about the songs I open up with, usually half an hour or an hour and a half later, I'll sort of get to them as opposed to get finished with them. Anyway, who cares, right? Well, I do care, of course. Mike, I'll talk about Mike and Gary. In a bit, I think that sounded okay as well. So I'll get into that in a bit. I'm after making a major discovery. Yeah, unbelievable. Just in personal terms, just it won't mean anything to anyone else. And I hope that sounded okay. And if there was any imbalance, it was down to myself because I'm pretty sure this guitar is tuned as best as I can tune it anyway. And I found a method in all of these years. I've been playing guitar now, 47, pretty much since I was 17 when I bought a guitar on the building site. So 30 years, and never occurred to me. Never occurred to me. I always had trouble with keeping the guitar in tune. Something just occurred tonight. Lots of things occurred tonight, actually. Lots of interesting things to talk about, honestly. Mad. I'm kidding. I'm trying to keep it down as well. My mom was upstairs and the radio's blaring. I mean, I'm trying to keep it soft. I might record. I have ideas for that song actually, and I'll go through that in a second. About in a few minutes, but yeah, some great. I always have some great ideas on the back burner. Just depends on how all this pans out, doesn't it? But anyway, this next song is for 444. Feels strange calling someone 444 Truth for so long, but 444 has been around for years now, and as much as I can glean anything, I think 444 has a good heart. So you know what this means yourself. Of course, I won't dedicate anything to anybody before everything is for my son. So just to make that clear anyway. But this is for you 444, and we'll talk about this a bit later on as well. I'll try keep it sort of controlled and managed. So it'll be interesting this take. I'm used to singing it, but I get into that in a bit. Blasting things out loud, right? Because I'm back busking in the heart of Limerick City. So used to blasting things out loud. So it'll be interesting for myself as well, because remember, all there is me, right? Here, smoking a joint over a plate. And a bottle of water. So this will be interesting as well. So me trying to suppress it, right? Polar opposite. Everything's about the opposite. Some very interesting things to say about the yin and yang symbol. Irving TT. Oh my goodness. Honest to God. Yeah. Well. And actually, how everything ties into pi. Actually. But that's just a by the way. Let's continue on. This is for 444, and I'm looking forward to this myself because, as I said, my guitar now is as tuned as it's ever been. as ever I have been able to tune a guitar, which I've always had difficulty with until I found. I'll talk about that. This different method of tuning the strings in relation to one another. So anyway, here we go. And I don't mean to, honestly, I don't mean to offend or sort of upset anybody here in Ireland. It's 5:15, 5:14 on the computer clock here. So it's pretty late, but at the same time, I don't mean to disturb anybody, and especially my mother. So let's. Summer shine, things like that. Just wondering if she'd change it all if her hair was still right. Her folks, they said their lives together, and sure was going to be wrong. They never liked Mom's homely dress, but Franklin wasn't big enough. He was standing by the side of the road, the rain falling on his shoe. Hanging out for the East Coast, Lord knows the keys and Jews coming through. She was married with late for the smell and the big boys. He helped her out in the jam, I guess, but he was a little too much for her. They drove their car as far as they could. They banged out west. They stood up on the backside for the green and it was there. She turned around looking at him as he was walking away. He heard her say over his shoulder, "We'll move again someday." He got a job in the Great Woods, working as a cook for a spell. But he never liked it all that much one day. The axe just fell. So he drifted down to LA. He was looking for the deal flowing. He was looking for a while in a fishing boat right outside California. All the while he was alone, the past had closed behind. And he seen a lot of women. He never escaped his mind. He just flowed. She was working in a topless place. I stopped in for a beer. I just kept looking at the side of her face and the spotlight so clear. And later on, as the crowd came out, I was just about to hear me say. She was standing there in the back of my chair and said, "Tell me, do I know your name?" There was something underneath my breath. She stared the lines of my face. I must admit, I felt a little uneasy when she went down the time and lace of my hair. She was a burner on the stove. She offered me a pipe. But she never said hello. She said, "You're the bright side of time." She opened up a book. She handed it to me. It was written by an Italian boy from the 13th century. And one of them words rang true, though like pretty cold. Pouring off of every page, I was written in my soul from you. now I'm going back again. I got to get to her somehow. All the people we used to know, they're illusion to me now. Some are mathematicians, others are doctors' wives. I don't know how I started, don't know what to do with their lives. Now I'm still on the road, I'm heading for another job. You always feel the same, just saw it from a different point. Time left. Nice. I think I controlled that pretty well. It's fear I woke someone up, but maybe not. Polar opposites. Honestly, today, well, that's the song I open up when I'm back busking. So that's most of the time the song that I open up with, and it's, let's say that volume is like 3, generally maybe 13. So singing it to the world. So complete contrast and variance there. So I hope it came across okay. It sounded okay to me, and Tara, excellent. I'll tell you before I sing the other song. The third, 3 is the magic number, THREE, right? So the whole E, spirit, it's all got to do with your component parts. Right? I've had problems with the screen here, and it's actually gone completely black now. Everything else seems to be working okay, but the screen is actually going completely black. So I'm just going to continue on, and I don't know how it would work if I had to restart it, but it's not really going to. Oh no, it's okay actually. What I have to do, it just went on idle. That's good. Idle. It just went on idle. But I do have problems with the screen. It's just flickering a bit. I reckon it's just a matter of might even be a burned connection, but I don't think it's that severe. It's just maybe just change the connection itself. But anyway, glad to hear that. I'm delighted now. Excellent. I can continue. What was I saying there? Well, Tangled Up in Blue, well, the last verse, now I'm going back again. I got to get to her somehow. All the people we used to know are illusion to me now. Some are mathematicians, some are doctors' wives. Don't know how it all got started, don't know what they're doing with their lives. Me, I'm still on the road, I'm heading for another joint. We always did feel the same, we just saw it from a different point of view, right? Point of me and you. Me are you. So point of me and you, me are you, Mount Maru, me are you. Before I got distracted, I was going to say something. Slipped my mind, but okay, see it goes. Oh yeah, well, I'm just gonna have a drag of a joint. So what I've done is, so yeah, that's what I was just distracting from, playing the three in a row. After 30 years, honest to God, friends. So all the shows I've been here, I try to be honest and truthful at all times. But what a revelation, right? So when I play, I normally just tune it like that. So I just always got the harmonic, but just sort of hammered on it, just tapped on it. But I didn't realize that the harder you play it, it sustains, but also that you can and the point being that it does sustain, and you can vary it from the key heads themselves here. And it might seem obvious. I've made some great revelations, but some obvious shit escapes me, right? It may seem obvious to other musicians or whatever, but to me, it's a great revelation. And now I'm sort of confident to my own satisfaction anyway, that this is as close as I can get to tuning the guitar as I think guitar should be tuned. But I'm not sure if that's coming across. In terms of the sound here, I have the volume set at 42, would you believe? TT 42, right? But I hope it is, because it sounds okay to me, but don't trust me anyway. I'm stoned out of my box. I'm zonked out of my conch. I haven't actually had a smoke in 1 week. I had a smoke tonight, so good. I know I have to handle myself. I'm grand. No worries. But yeah, that's absolutely delighted at that. Absolutely delighted. Now I can easily hone in on that. So I can sort of recognize each individual string and its harmonic instantaneously. I can just, and it's not about comparison with the rest of the 5 strings and their own harmonics. That comes sort of naturally after you get one of them right. So yeah, not to over do anything. Yeah, let's go to the third song. I'll give thee all I can, no more, though poorly I'll bring thee. My heart and mood are all the store that I can give to thee. A lute whose gentle song reveals the soul of love full well. And better for a heart that feels much more than lute can tell. Though love and song may fail alas to keep life's clouds away, at least 'twill make them lighter pass to this day. And even if care at moments flings a discord o'er life's happy strand, touch the strings, alone the sea. Hands all alone, but gently touch the strings, alone the sea. Yeah, I think the high E is a little bit too high, but happy with that. How you doing, friends? Greetings. Well, let me just have a drink. I hope all is well. I hope everything is coming through okay. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed singing that now, and especially keeping it sort of under a certain level of control. And honestly, I have no wish to disturb anyone, especially my mother. So she's, I don't know, she's been affected by the secondary weed here, like this, just wafting its way up. She's come to recognize it immediately, right? And just automatically associates psychotic mindset with it. That's just the way it works. Whereas the exact opposite is true, of course. But that's a different story. Yes, I hope all is well. I said I'd start up hangout. I was going to do it earlier on, but I fancy going out for just a drink. I've been out ages and ages at night time, and we're just doing a bit of busking. You'd be surprised how much money, it all adds up, you know what I mean? But it's not about the money, but yeah, a few extra quid here and there. And I just said, fuck, I'm going out for a few drinks, and just went into one of the local halls that I've been drinking in on and off over, years and years at this stage. And it was a very, very, very interesting night. So anyway, that's beside it. The story. I said I'd come on, and I was thinking in terms of an American audience that this is prime time now. So who knows, who might be listening in. I did put a message out at the start to my dear friend Maggie. Why not, Maggie? If you're tuned in, and if you're up for a long awaited and anticipated conversation, I think no time like the present, but I don't understand either way as well, but it'd be great. Let me just talk about the first song, Flat Earth. What was it? What is this sort of shortened version? Misty Morning, Albert Bridge. I think that's what it is, but it's a Pogue song, and it's just my own take on it. And I mentioned Michael Gary. I used to live with Michael Gary down in Ennis when I first started seeing my son's mum, Sarah, where I moved down to Ennis, where she was living, not from, but she was from Clare. And I was housemates with Michael Gary and his brother used to grow weed up in the barren. And anytime, like the big jar of weed, it wasn't the best of weed, right? Because up in the Burren, right? There's the Barren Burn, which is an area, a district in Clare. But yeah, Mike was Cardry. He's dead now, and he died way too young. But yeah, that was for him. And I hope you're listening somewhere, Mike. And of course you are. And yeah, you know what spirit that's meant. And it was just a housemate for a year, and that's all there is to it. Like, there's no greater story. Just the second song, as I said, Tangled Up in Blue. That's one I open up with when I do go out busking and blasting it out. So happy with how I came out, keeping it down. And the last song, My Heart and Out, of course, one stole with the usual. Happy enough with that as well. Delighted. I can't express how delighted I am. The tuning revelation. So, yeah. what to talk about tonight. So many things to talk about, or could talk about. Let's take it step by step and not rush anything. I'll go pretty much immediately into chat. One thing I'm going to do, I probably won't do it tonight. I won't do it tonight because it's too involved. I'm going to read out next night the Gospel of Thomas. Right, it's only about a half an hour. It'll take you about half an hour to read it, and it's pretty manageable as well because it's like a series of succinct quotations. And yeah, in terms of everything I've been talking about, it so much of it rings home, and I think it would be a good thing for me to read it out and comment where a comment is needed. What's the purpose of all of this otherwise? You know, why is anyone listening now? Why am I even here sitting talking about any of this stuff? Ultimately, it's all in my own brain anyway, right? I have only the ability, the necessary limited ability to communicate what, you know, my thoughts entail, and especially when we're talking about deeper topics like what the true nature of our home, of our dominion. You know, and oh man, if I was to tell you, if someone had a video camera regarding what happened tonight, you wouldn't believe it. Wouldn't believe it. But that's okay. I mean, it's grand. It's when you're a flat earther, you're open to attack from all sides. Some guy, literally some guy, just met tonight for the first time. He knew a few things about me, for whatever. He'd seen me around, but he bet his soul. I said I can take on any man. Regarding the shape and nature of our planet, right? Our home. I mean, our home, right? So anyone who's going to, first of all, they're dead in the water. First of all, anyone's going to argue for a spinning ball Earth is given. They're dead in the water. Anyone who isn't accustomed to the arguments as we are, at this stage, they're dead in the water in moments. You all you have to do is ask them, well, what's this? Which I did ask him, but he bet his soul, and I said, "Man, don't be betting your soul. You can bet some money if you want. Don't be betting your soul." And he said, "I bet my soul. I know, the Earth's spinning ball." And remember, this guy just came up to me. Anyway, I said, "Man, even if I won you, and I know I'd win your soul immediately, I'd give back to you anyway. You didn't know what you're doing. Just haven't thought about it." But expressing how that was, it was really an imposition on me because I was talking to other people, and this guy just came out of the blue. And as I do, I always talk about flat Earth. I get it in immediately, almost, because I want to point out the insanity that we've been sort of driven to. That if you're going to gauge everything in terms of what's normal being people in Australia from the position and the point of view of Ireland are walking around upside down, well, then you're insane. And I can't listen or take anything you say on the basis of that realization seriously. You know what I mean? This is real life we're talking about. And as I always say, right, and I mean this, I did the very best of my ability. And of course, we all have sort of judgments. I mean, I see someone in a pair of skin tight, they're going around now, skin tight lycra pants, whatever you call those things. You can literally, it's a fucking see-through black stretched plastic or not rubber, and you can actually see everything. You don't want to be fucking seeing everything. I mean, you don't want to be seeing that. Even if I actually want to go as far as to say, even people who wear it well, you don't want to be seeing that. But look, everybody's been led and said in one way or another. But these are the real life interactions, and I can handle any of these people, of course. And what I generally and primarily deal with here is, hopefully, anyway, I try to just where I'm at, my sort of progress in all of this. And I know it doesn't come across coherent for the most part, but c'est la vie, right? C'est la vie. I'm here having my own experience and my walk through life and expressing myself. I've no one else to go on with any of this stuff, actually. It's a simple matter of fact. I did just this was a minor part of in terms of the interest in few conversations I've had over the course of the night. I only went out about 12 o'clock, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I think I had 5 drinks actually, so 5, not too much, and happy enough with water, a few joints, and random, But had certainly a good few conversations. Pretty much everyone I spoke to. I mentioned Flat Earth too, but it got more involved well, pretty much beyond a certain point. But just to tell you, this is one of the minor points. I was mentioning to 2 Americans who stopped by a bin that we were all just standing around, just finishing off drinks, rubbish bin. I was telling them about, of course, Will Smith, well, Flat Earth, first of all. And I said, there's no greater direct witnesses than you now, because they were just after flying over from Los Angeles to Ireland, and I got him to think about it. You just go up the usual charge, like the usual simple stuff. You just go up and go straight across. If you had your glass of water or whatever sort of container containing liquid, whatever your wine glass, whatever you want, was it level all the way? And then you point out, well, according to your belief, you're going to persuade me, dear, that the glass of wine that you held to begin with, as opposed to the glass of wine that you held at your destination, 45 or whatever, 60 degrees in opposition to one another, according to a central horizontal. So it's these simple things. But yeah, that was just one. But yeah, after I got that out of the way, not summoned properly at all. But one thought I left them with was while the Will Smith, Barack Obama, and Osama bin Laden, and I swear to you, they took it fucking unbelievably well. They took it unbelievably, and they were only a young couple as well, 28 or 27, 28. And a couple of children over here for a holiday, but it was excellent, because their mind was clearly open, and they had these direct sort of things being thrown at them, and they were forced to consider it in one form or another. I don't get involved. I don't, this is old hat to me. So, but yeah, getting back to the point, anyone I do encounter, I always try to do my very best to not have any preconceived notions or ideas. I take everyone's at find them. You have to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, as opposed to giving nobody the benefit of the doubt. You're forced into a decision there, and I prefer to go that way. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and well, you find out one way or another, right? When it comes to this arena here, I even said to someone yesterday, when it comes to the Flat Earth arena, exactly the same way I try to act. And any new account that's coming along, trying to engage in the conversation, give the benefit of the doubt. And well, my experience tells me, well, we soon learn who's who and what's what. My best question to stump bowlers, because they all have to answer, the bowler antagonists, they all have to answer the same way they do, right? Because if they give an inch, then they have to give a mile, which is what is the best in all of this, everything considered, what is the best piece of evidence that flat earthers have to offer for a flat and a stationary plane. That stumps them all, because you see, if they do detail the many different things that we could detail, of course. What are they stupid? They haven't considered the same stuff that we've considered. Well, then if they do detail that, they know. In contrast, everything is about a variance. A mirror in contrast to what they have to offer. Whoever they are, ball earth adherents have to offer. That diminishes their offering all the more, right? If you understand what I mean there. So yeah, that's why you'll never get any variation from a central point from all of these returning antagonists, and that's on the flat earth side as well. Before I go into chat, let me just this expression, chat to a dog about a bird, something like that. So I'm going to put this outside. Nice one. Nice one, baby. Nice one, mate. Nice one, baby. Mate. There's some great ideas for songs and to turn established traditional music into this flat earth anthems in a sense, with flat earth being this central theme of the song. So yeah, certainly have some good ideas about that. I could record it and have a load of snapshots with text where necessary, and you're putting across a greater picture, right? So I think everything's going through. My head is cut. Is my head cut off? Decapitated shave? Yeah, there's nothing like a woman scoring within women. There's nothing like a mother scoring as well, waking a mother up out of her sleep is good. And pretty selfish of me, but I did set out from the start with not my intentions to keep it as soft as possible. So hopefully that would be the situation. Okay, yeah. How you doing, everybody in chat? So let me throw a few comments on the screen. So last is first, and first is last. Here you go. Edge 1, 2. Is it Edge? Okay, Edge. I said it's going then. Okay. 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 Is that okay, G? Okay, Geo. Okay, I'm with you now. 1, 2, 3. Very interesting. I personally don't think you can really separate the mind from reality either. If I understand it correctly at all, I believe you would agree with that. Wow. Interesting. How you doing? First of all, okay, go. You have 2 out of 3 letters there from God, right? So you're only missing is the D. There is the D to be found elsewhere, maybe, possibly. Okay, what's the difference between OK and KO? Again, not to get diverted or anything, but the order matters, right? The order absolutely matters. It's the difference between Jesus, S-U-S, and boss, B-O-S-S, right? Now, when you put the O in between the 2 S's, you get SOS, an emergency sort of situation, a red light district. But when it comes out and it's the 2 S's unite, well, then it has a different significance. And while all words, all letters have, what are you going to say, ultimate significance, right? There's a greater significance going on here. I mean, what do you think you entered into when you left the spinning ball heliocentric big bang mode of thinking behind? Well, you entered into reality. And what has changed? Well, as you say, okay, go, the mind has changed, right? The mind has changed. Of course it has. Nothing else has changed. You do the same things, you know. Everything goes on, just the thought process changes based on new information. But as I mentioned so many times, it's all about context. Now we have a different context in the flat earth context. And as we should all know by now, flat earth is just the beginning, right? Yeah, the mind is, well, mind M in D. What does that mean? What can that mean? M in D. All these words are chosen, all these letters, all these structures are chosen specifically for us as individuals to understand and decode them. I was only talking about this today, actually, and it's another Very interesting story. Talking to two Mormon girls. Very, very interesting, beautiful, lovely girls. Like, and um, I was just playing, busking away, and they came along, and I already knew them, and I had about 10 or 15, 20-minute chat with them. I'm going to take them out to lunch, actually. But everyone has their own point of view. There's no sort of delving into someone else's mind. Don't pretend you can. The best you can do is delve into your own mind and understand where it finds itself and what it is. But mind, M&D, is very significant. The English language is given to us whole cloth. And yeah, I probably look more retarded than I actually am because I'm looking in the wrong place. So the camera's up there, but I'm looking down here. But anyway. So yeah, deeper questions. So nice. I haven't seen you before, man. So how you doing? And again, everyone has the benefit of the doubt in my point of view ever. And I mentioned, all the conversations I had tonight, I said the same thing. I would say something, but you don't know where I'm coming from. So that takes time, and an open mind. Well, at this stage, there's no point in having a conversation. Right? It wouldn't be any point in me having a conversation with anybody about anything if they didn't have at least an open mind or an open ear. Simple as that. So yeah, nice to see you. Fyodor Dostoevsky, how you doing, Fyodor? I'm sure that's not your real name, unless by an absolutely amazing coincidence. But how you doing? Let's just put your last comment up, Fyodor, if you don't mind. Or girl, if you ask Monkey Tom Tom, apparently OK Go is often nice. Well, okay, that's what I stress again. Forget in one sense about what's going on screen or what I'm saying. I mean, it's all about the interactive chat you're having with other people you don't know. So, it's a way to hone your skills in a sense, but you never know what you may learn. You never know where you're going to pick up the next piece of the puzzle, right? Ultimately, what do we know about anybody? Absolutely sweet Fanny Adams. I shouldn't have said Fanny now because I actually reverted again. I've changed. I mean, I'm entitled to it. Like I'm a man. I'm a woman. I'm a man. I'm entitled to change my view. I said and I meant it at the time. I identified as a woman, and I wanted everybody to call me Fanny Man from here on in. And I hoped that everybody who had any little bit of respect for me would respect that. And if they didn't respect that, I was going to sue them. So I said that, and I admit that. And now I sort of get your position more because I completely changed my mind again, and I'm back to being a man again. So anyone who calls me Fanny Man now, I'm going to sue you, right? Okay. You see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I don't want to put. I won't put up comments on screen because there might be conversations going. But I'll put up this one. I put up because I put up this might give us a greater context, Theodore, and how you doing. But all I can do is, you play both sides. There's plenty of actors, and of course you're an actor on the stage as well. Whatever you're doing, you're playing a part, right? You're not being open, honest. You're not you're not being forthright, right? There's nothing to go on except, well, let's read your chat here. It is interesting. I think it is way over almost everybody on the planet's head. His book, The Art of Knowing, is something I'd like to read. Is that The Art of Knowing? Okay, I don't know who is that. Dostoevsky? The Art of Knowing. Can anyone tell you what the art of knowing is unless you learn it yourself? Because you have to learn it yourself, right? No one can tell you anything. You can glean from all of the different pieces of information that are presented in your path, because remember, we are in a construct, right? Mark Sargent gave us the clues, right? Simon Schack, there we have the SS. Simon Schack gave us September clues, which pretty much solved 9/11, or did it? No, it didn't, of course. No, it didn't. Anyway, so yeah, that's a conversation you're having with someone else there, Fighter. But how you doing anyway? Welcome. Okay, go 1, 2, 3. Let me put that up. I think it's easier to read on the big screen. gonna do, gonna do, gonna start to, Tommy Gama, gonna do Fein, Sinn Fein alone, gonna do, how you doing? How you doing, gonna do? Did you know that Michael Jackson, right? This is how it goes. Michael Jackson was the Dodo. He faked his death and returned as the five alive Dodo. But another clue for us was that what was his nickname, or his most prominent nickname to all of his close family and relations that nobody knew about? It wasn't Dodo, but it was Madoo Doo. Oh, we gave clues for us. But I'm not going to say that'll go over most people's heads. I think a lot of people know a hell of a lot more than what they pretend to or let on that they do. So, Hannah Koala Quartz, how you doing, Hannah? Let me just put that on the screen. And what does it say? Duck Ass Ashy? Duck Ass Ashy? Duck Ass Ashy? Duck Ass Ashy. Duck Ass Ashy. Duck ass. So we have the first part, sort of duck ass. So you're interested in duck asses, Hannah. We got that. You speak the French? Are you from Germany? you have duck asses in Germany? Well, actually, now that you have the name, I don't know what that means at all. I just extend greetings to you. But Doug Ash, so you see the last two letters, CHI. So if we're to read that as it says CHI. Now we think of the word church, right? Now we have CHURCH. What might this mean? What might this mean? So we have CHI at the end there. Not that I know the context of that word there. Duck ash chassis could be good. It could be dirty. I don't know. I don't know what you could be a tranny. How am I supposed to know? Tranny. What would a name like Hannah Koala Quartz? I mean, what am I supposed to think? Sure, you put a big picture there, but that could be anything. That could be a squirrel holding up a picture. You know, you trained your squirrel to hold up a picture that you found randomly on the internet. I don't know. It's possible, right, everything? Yeah, everything. So I'm going back ages, right? But Osama bin Laden, Obama, Biden. Yeah, but look, we've got to get beyond that, you know. So these are all the obvious clues that were left there. And we'll get beyond that. We have got beyond that as well. So Will Smith being, that's crazy shit, man. That's crazy shit, honestly. But you know where I am at that. Well, maybe not. I also mentioned Seth MacFarlane being Elon Musk. When I say I'm 100% about Will Smith, I say 100%, but Seth MacFarlane being Elon Musk, 95%, 90%, something around that. Like went to the same degree, but that's crazy talk. Who the fuck are you going to say that to? You know, I'm going to say it to you, Pete, because I'm looking at you and I'm looking at you talking to me. You're talking to me. So I know a lot of stuff, man. But yeah, that's probably ages ago in the chat. And I'm just going to go back up and see if Maggie is here. And if she is, I'll send you the link, Maggie. Plain Truth, how you doing, Plain Truth? So you say my guitar sounds like it's a tin can. I'm not sure if that's good or not, but from where I'm at, man, it's a vast improvement on how it always sounded to my ears, which I always had trouble keeping my guitar in tune. So maybe it's just a laptop, and I don't have any special equipment around. But other than that, I'm sure it came across reasonably okay under the circumstances. So, all right. Yeah, okay. Back to present times. Do I speak Gaelic? Yeah, I'm taking on Gaeilge. Taking on Gaeilge. I could do a refresher, but if I really concentrated on it, if I ever had it in my mind to bring it back to mind almost immediately, I know what I would do. I would just take a weekend down to what's called the Gaeltacht area, the Connemara areas, particularly of Kerry and sort of Galway, Mayo, sort of on the west coast, southwest coast, Donegal as well, but that's a different dialect altogether. And just spend a weekend there and just challenge yourself, just speak the language throughout the weekend. You'll come away fluent, I would anyway. So, yeah, Tigan on Gaeilge and Hannah, honestly, I mean, yeah, that's too deep to go into because our Ireland is the key. Irish. I am Irish, right? Iris H. Ireland is the key, and when Irish eyes are smiling, um, so Irish language is very, very significant. And I'm finding that more and more. But who am I going to share this with? You have no clue about Irish. And anything I would try to explain to you, not that I've delved too deep to so many things I could spend time delving into, but that's definitely on the cards. And the two girls, remember telling you about the two Mormon girls, really lovely girls, and really genuine sort of conversations as well. Of course, I told them about the flat earth. But both of them speak French as well. One is from Tahiti and one is from France. So that's very interesting. Yeah, everything's happening for a reason. So and maybe get into more detail about that. This is another thing I can talk about. But yeah, Irish. Right. Well, all right. I thought it was Hannah for a second saying, "Dear, what got you know?" That's not Hannah. That's Harsh Truth Engineer. I wonder, did you get? Is there any? Yeah, yeah. There's a few. Is there? I can't even remember. I don't know what's the word. Apostrophe. It's not apostrophe. Fada. Fuck's sake. Of course it is a fada. Is there any fadas missing there? Harsh truth. Because if there's fathers missing, there's a harsh truth that you're going to have to swallow that you're not a true Irishman. You can't, and true Irishman would never do that with fathers. you type it into Google, and Google will give you the fathers and all, and all you copy and paste. Lazy bollocks. Lazy bollocks. But no, Diego Machara. But some great realization to be had via the Irish language. And, according to the official history of Ireland, and especially the monasteries, who were responsible for sort of keeping alive accounts of past cultures, when through the dark ages, everything else faded and collapsed. So, yeah, I don't believe in any of that stuff. It's all part of the greater story. So bringing us back to the Irish Isle, the Emerald Isle. Right? Green is the color of the heart chakra. Green is, the Emerald City of Oz, right? What is green? That's a different matter. Yeah, going back to colors, how we perceive the mind. How do we perceive things, right? And what is the nature of our interaction with what are? We know we're not just a mind. We're not just a body. Or are we? Are we everything combined? Right? Combined. Combined. Anyway. All right. To handle the kind of in chat. So, because Tome Egg Fallon Gaelish, right? So, I'm genuine. Of course, I try my very best not to lie under any circumstances. So, yeah, I can get that immediately. Tome Egg Fallon Gaelish. I don't have to Google it or anything. That means I am learning Irish now, and Danish now. Look at the word now. And actually, it's a good exercise. Now, tall, right? Tall may. No, see, I don't want to go into that. I don't want to go into that because I haven't talked about gold. iPad gold. George Bush was reading iPad gold upside down when he was told of the unfolding catastrophe in New York, right? iPad gold. Gold is go AT. So tall here is AT backward in reverse, right? And to translate it directly, tall may egg, I am. Tall may, I am. So may is I and tall is am, right? Tall may egg foul. So all of the letters have a certain significance. And I think, as I pointed out, I don't want to get into this, but so we have three component parts. We have the heart center, which is the bridge between the material center and the immaterial center, which is the brain center and the gut center, or the groin center. That's the heart of the material component of our being. And while the A will point you upwards towards that immaterial understanding, recognition. Because remember, we grew up with a complete embracing of the heliocentric Big Bang model, where all there was the material. You don't have the heart, and you don't have the immaterial center. And how strange and stupid is that, right? Something we can all relate to. The immaterial drives the material. But once again, nothing is as has been painted. Everything is the complete opposite. And well, that's the way it's written, right? That's the way it's written. You've got to decide what is the significance of all of this once you leave globe where it's behind, spinning ball where it's behind, and the Earth is spinning ball in one sense. It's all metaphor. It is in one sense. If let me throw a question out if you haven't heard me saying any of this stuff. Like one of the first things we should have considered as flat and stationary Earth is a singular source to all of the skylines or the slash luminary. Because, well, the Earth isn't moving, but we know something is, and we know from time-lapse video that on a daily nightly basis, all of the sky appears to move in unison. Outside of the different flashes, which are, completely out of, another story. A UFO encounter yesterday, and I'm pretty sure it was specifically for me. Unbelievable, like, but yeah, outside of any of that sort of anomalous exhibitions, everything seems to move in unison. So on a daily nightly basis, there is variations, of course, as we extend the time scale. But fundamentally, moment by moment, everything does seem to. So we have to come up with an explanation for why everything seems to move in unison. We understand that the Earth beneath us is flat and stationary, so something is fucking moving. So again, these are deep considerations. But what's your own answers to that? Have you considered that? I certainly have, and well, that's where the fun begins, right? So excellent, Hannah. That's Tome ag Fallon Gelga Anish Gelga Anish Gelga. Yeah, I have any tips for you? I know where you are. I mean, you want to put in the chat, are you in England or are you in Ireland or what what's your general situation? As I mentioned, if you wanted to learn it so badly and it sort of occurs to you, trip a weekend down to the Gaeltacht in Kerry or, well, a few different places you could go. I recommend Kerry, and I've been to both places in Galway as well. That would help you out no end, but it depends on where you're coming from. I'll be coming at it from a completely different point of view. So, okay. So let me put a comment here. Irving, gold toga, right? Yeah, the toga associated with the Roman Empire, right? Which is all bollocks as well. That's where I'm at, right? It's all part of the construct. What is the true nature of everything? Well, there's the question right there in lies the rub. How many layers is there to the onion? I think you're on the right track, Irving, with pie. This says it all. And what do you think of my, well, I have to mention it again. What do you think of my offering to, so we know the ultimate answer is given as 42. So what is the ultimate question? That problem is still being worked on according to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series of novels, right? Well, was it deep thought? It was deep thought. Spent 6 million years coming up with the answer 42. So, oh shit, I have to delve back into my brain. Ultimately, the answer, or sorry, the question that I have to offer up is, what do you get when you divide 0 by 1? And when you do that, well, you get 42. How do you get 42? I think it's a damn good answer. I really do, and especially in light TT of, you know, the significance of the TH, right? At birth, BIRTH. What does the TH represent? Well, if we think in terms of our constituent parts, the H is the heart center, the H in the center. So the two sides, H, the heart bridge between the material or immaterial and the material. But you know now there's more going on as well. So yeah, but fundamentally this is what it is. When you take the downward path and you're immersed in the material, then you have the H. But remember the whole E, right? So the E is this. You just imagine a dividing line in between you, and you have 3 outposts: one from the immaterial, one from the bridge, and one from the material, the glowing center. As you go downwards, that's your E. So E on both sides, whole E, got to bring them together and spear it upwards, right? So we're going to take the upwards path as opposed to the downwards path. I think the downwards path, and we're immersed in heliocentrism. Heliocentrism, all there is the material. And no more fundamental divide or divergence from reality is that. Because we're anything but the material only. But, you know, we're only coming to realize this, right? There is such a major save point, and a fundamental save point. And now we can venture into the true nature of reality as opposed to being stuck on what isn't. And that's what you're constantly encouraged to do, is stay stuck on what isn't. It's down to you. It's down to you and your own journey. But yeah, just say Irving. Yeah. So pi comes into it, and of course, what is pi? You look at the symbol. Pi is. Let me put it in chat here. Pi is TT, right? It's almost identical to the symbol used for pi. TTL, you can hear the clock ticking in the background. Here's the ticking of the clocks. TT 1212. 12 times 12 is 144. How close to midnight are we, you know? Well, actually mentioning that, actually, we're very so close to midnight. Unbelievable. I think anyway. But pi is a relationship between circumference of a circle and the diameter, any line drawn from point to point through the center. That's pi. And it's irrational, the ultimate irrational number. And what does it ultimately represent? Well, it represents 0 representing the immaterial, the greater aspect to us. When we do away with the material, the one, the countable, like the dimensionable, right? You can always cut the material into smaller aspects. Whereas immaterial, well, cut a thought down. Yeah. So that divide is stress there, and that's why I think my offering for the ultimate question to the ultimate answer, which is 42, I think it's a damn good offering. And when pi to 3 is the magic number. I mentioned earlier on TH, the way with TH again, THREE. So 3, E. Got to do with your heart center, Jesus pointing to his heart, the chained heart, right? So you have to find a key to unlock any chain, as a weakest link or a lock. And well, there we have the heart center. Jesus always pointing there. You can't live up here. It's Pandora's box open, the world of possibilities. And you can't live down there, and because it's a material only existence. That's why homosexuality is abhorred in the Bible. It's not because it's, it's nothing to do with anyone else's sexuality, or we all have one. And what you do in your own time is your own business. But no, it's got to do with what's actually been expended, and I've talked about this many times. My own son, in a real sense, is an immaculate conception because he was conceived without ejaculation. Now, if we think in new terms, right, flat earth terms, if you want, our bodily fluids, and these bodily fluids that we have, are capable, when coming together, of creating the greatest miracle that humankind can ever attest to. Right? So, a different context to everything. And when you hear words like kingdom come, communion, commandments, so many other similar sort of terms, well, this new context allows us to think in a completely different sense, right? Mark Sargent said, a game of clues. All right, so Irving, that I commented on screen. So Irving says 42, first in pi as position 92. Isn't that interesting? 92, 24 first at 292. This is all miraculous beyond measure, isn't it? Of course, there's a greater hand at play here, and everything ultimately will resonate in its simplicity. That's what I'm thinking, and yeah. 92 because it falls in between 93 and 91. But hang on, I have another significance of 92. Flight 92 crashed in 9/11, right? Right between 91 and 93. Irving, do you know that Stephen King's favorite number is 19? So much stuff is pointing to 19 being. Yeah, definitely have to get my mind back into thinking in Irish. If I was to waffle, I could easily waffle on in Irish now, just bring things back to mind. Yeah, but it would be difficult. Like it wouldn't be interesting to listen to because I'd just be trying to piece together two stories anyway. But definitely have some that's at the forefront of my things to do, refamiliarize myself. But as we're talking about these two girls, they both of them speak French, so I'm gonna ask them just to take them to lunch or something like that. And I was talking to them about meat eating, how you have to stop at meat eating. You can't be religious and eat meat. And I pointed out about at Easter time we have millions of lambs cut short, foreshortened for the dinner table. For the purposes of our own sort of greedy consumption. I went a bit deeper into that. But yeah, anyway, the fact that they both speak French and are from opposing aspects of the globe, right? And that France is such a significant place there. In France, of course, we have Paris, Polaris, the Aristarchus. We have the Eternal Flame. So you think the Eternal Flame is at the top of the Liberty statue in New York Harbor, wherever it is, whatever the bay, Hudson, not Hudson Bay, is it? No, it's not Hudson Bay. Hudson River is in New York. But wherever it is, Liberty Island, and that's not the original, that's the twin. The original they found in Paris, just on its own, Liberty Flame, and that is, as I mentioned maybe 50 shows back, and still stand by it, it's the heart. It's the heart. The broken heart, the divided heart. And yeah, this is where everything comes from. This is where the eternal light is at. This is why green, Emerald Isle, green is the color of Ireland, you know. So you have central balance, that point, right? That bull's eye. This is what the X's and O's, the X reduces to a point. And well, we come into our own. Because what are we? Who are we, right? Yeah. So yeah, 92 is a very interesting number. Of course, 24 is a very interesting number as well. 888, I have loads of thoughts on that since the last time I did it. It's been about 2 weeks now. Loads of thoughts on that. Oh gosh, the Union Jack. Union. Michael Jack's son. So it's all about connecting. So we have the left side, right side separated. Then we have the heart center, and then we have the left side, right side, groin center, like that. And everything is sort of crisscrossed, everything's twisted around it. And our objective is to unravel it. A fundamental part in all of this and realizing is that everything is mirrored through the heart. So we're missing half a brain, and well, are we told by science that our gut is a brain in one sense? Well, it was an inside-out brain. The other half you've been missing, right? Well, how you treat that then becomes all important. So I talk about fasting and how fasting, F-A-S-T, putting the F in relation to the E, right? Or the E in relation to the L. So again, that material, immaterial, and heart center bridge. This is why God is He, right? God is He because it's center. Where all things collide. Okay. Okay, I'm like, well, it's getting late here. I was going to prep them on again tomorrow now, but so Theodore says, come live life in all its fullness. John 10:10. Isn't that very good, man? Excellent. Excellent. As I pointed out, let me bring that up. There you go. Let me bring this up now. So just as you say that, Theodore, I'll remind, not myself, I don't need reminding. This is always on my mind because it's an instruction to me. So we have God. Remember, we have God, but the D is reversed, and then devil, God, devil. And there we have theta in the center, right? So once you realize that the one divides into two, and the two become the one, well, then an instruction jumps out, and that is, well, as I've written down below here, go forwards, live backwards, go live. And I think that echoes nicely what your parting sentiment is there, Theodore. So cheers for that, and do the right thing, I guess. Until the next time. Yeah. Yeah, how you doing? 2.88. It is a bit late, but hey, man, that's all right. There's no limitations, right? So it is a bit quiet as well, but that's okay. And I go down for too much longer. Mention a couple of things and then hit the bed myself. But yeah, it is a bit late. I wonder how you're getting on 2.88. Are you progressing? It seems that the curiosity, or the cat has got the curiosity of most flat earthers at this stage. Or a lot of them are content to be stuck having the same arguments against the same sort of generally faceless antagonists. It's all seems insane, but of course there are real minds in play here, and yeah, all is never as it seems. It's easy enough to identify all of the different actors and players, but what's more difficult to hone in on is the motivation behind this cooperation and cooperative groups or crews. So that's a different matter entirely. And while you're at where you're at with all of that, you're at where you're at with all of that. Excellent. Um, right. So we have 1010 wins, New York City Radio wins, sine W and sine wave, W shape equals sine, live equals evil. Right. Well, you know how this goes, Irving. We're on our own in these interpretations. I don't follow any news at all, at all, at all, at all. So for the most part, all of this stuff goes over my head because it's in relation to something that's being presented in the televisual news, right? But yeah, you know yourself. Just simplify everything. And well, as I mentioned in the chat, let me read that comment. I hold this to be true, but I should clarify it as well. I said, PJ said, let me bring it up actually. So I said this at 05 o'clock, so it was very early doors. The only thing, I think, when this is quite the situation, I think only me and you know the true extent of the significance of the dodo TT. How cool is that? And you said very cool, and it is very cool, isn't it? You don't know what I know, or I don't know what you know, but we know that there is such a central. That's one thing we can agree on. But I don't think it's only me and you as well, because everything is written. So every story requires a storyteller, right? So wherever it is we find ourselves, I think we can agree that a greater story is being told, and it's waiting for us to read in one way or another. But outside of me and you, yeah, I'd be very hard pressed to name any individual who even mentions the dodo, for fuck's sake. I don't mean that, like, but yeah. Okay, well, let me. Alright, I'm sharing my own screen. Okay, that might be a bit confusing. Okay, so actually, I'm going to tell you now. I'm getting a bit tired myself. So, what I'm going to tell you is. Right, I'm going to share my full screen. Right, so just what I'm thinking about at the minute, right? And the yin yang symbol comes into its own here. But I have to tell you this actually to show you this. Honest to God, friends. Shit, there it is. Look, and I pointed it out the last time as well. I'll just give it a second here now to load it. Sure, you can see it. Here we go. Excellent. And I was saying maybe it's enhanced in some sort of way or to some sort of degree, but I tell you this, I looked out the window there maybe 3-4 days ago maybe, and it was, I swear to you, I don't want to swear, I'm not swearing or anything, it was exactly this. It was exactly, I mean, down to the smile. It was, and I reached for the camera. The camera's back again now, but my mother had taken it in the meantime to recharge it. But I reached for the camera and it wasn't there. And I was going, where the fuck is the camera? And I didn't manage to capture it, but it was exactly this. This, just in case you don't know what I'm talking about, these are the repeating cloud patterns. So if I got a picture of it and I sort of compared these two, and this is in one sense, a random picture from someone at a very different location, completely different time, and if the same pattern was reflected in my local sky, which I know absolutely it was, because I told you to look out for it, I've seen it so many different times, but never as clear as I saw it 3 days ago. One time we wanted a fucking camera and you don't have it there, and it was pretty much the identical image as this, down to the smile and everything, down to the paw being like this, and down to the foot. It was more elongated in a little bit of a sense, but it was exactly the same thing. And for me, it just proves what I've been saying. This is a pattern. There's a central emanation pattern being expressed on a continuous basis. But I thought that this would have been, I did bear in mind the possibility that it might have been touched up in some way. But no, this is exactly how it is. So not to dwell on that. This is what I'm, the same pattern that's been expressed is expressed everywhere. Right? This is what joins everything. So just to let you know what I'm thinking about. I'll do a better presentation tomorrow maybe. But it's fascinating stuff. I don't have my here we go. So right, and yeah, so here we have 2 images of the same thing, right? It's the same moon, and no matter how much you zoom in here, there's good quality retained, right? Good degree of clarity here, so what I've been doing, no, I haven't been doing much, I haven't been doing anything really in a lot of these lines, just considering it, because I had already considered it ages ago as well. But yin yang symbol, right? So what if this and this are the same thing, but just reflected in a slightly different way? This is one side of a contour, this is another side of a contour. So in other words, this where my mouse or the mouse is here, this ball here equates to this patch here, and this equates to this, but not in such a straightforward way, in such an obvious way. We have lots of different potential interference here, but fundamentally this pattern is a reflection of this pattern, right? And that's what I've been looking at, and well, more amazing results because this then becomes this down here. So if I zoom in down here, so once again, just to be clear, I'm just going over this just for the sake of saying something. Hang on a minute. Not for the sake of saying something, but right. So the idea being this area is the same as this area, sort of disguised somewhat, because we're dealing, well, we should know that we're dealing with, well, I know that we're dealing with reflected artifacts. The moon is a reflection of the sun, first of all, is a primary source of all of the skylines. But yeah, when we're trying to sort of decode it, this is probably the best example. If you look at this circular area here, equating this circular area, but just being expressed against a different aspect of a mirror screen, contoured screen. Anyway, right? So if we're to equate this, which is called crater tycho, to this, right? Where can we find an equivalent over here? So if this relates to this, as this relates to what? Well, then we can zoom in down here. We go, lo and behold, right here. So they're very, very similar altogether. But what if we were just viewing it from a different perspective? And look, it's a hole of mirrors. That's what's happening, friends. So when I think about the yin and yang symbol, that would make sense to me. Not just in the external, there was more to it. It's not just the external, of course, it's the male, female is well divided, and it's the sperm and the egg, one being an inversion of the others. When the two come together, unity is achieved. But yeah, this being, this is to this as I'm just gonna move on. As this to this. One is stretched and elongated, and one is viewed from a different perspective entirely. And this I'm absolutely sure of. And it's an amazing thing to consider. It's like this replicating pattern that everything is expressing in a fractal. Fractal isn't quite the proper word, although it probably is. Probably is in one sense, in a different sense. So I'm going to expand on that the next time, which will probably be tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you soundless, right? Because it's so late, and I'm more grateful that I got away with singing songs earlier on. Let me stop sharing the screen. How do I stop sharing the screen? So, yeah, as it's quite enough anyway, I'm grateful. Well, we're all still here, hopefully trying to work it out. I say thank you for tuning in, and then say, okay, love to all, and most especially, I love you, misty. So until next time, good night.